Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to talk about pre-release summer 19 features. And just a safe harbor that these features are still in pre-release and won't become available until the Salesforce release date. I'll share a link in the description on how to sign up for the pre-release org, so you can go in the system, go in the org, and play around with these new features, and also follow the release notes. Let's get started. So the first feature is now Salesforce actually remembers context while switching from Classic to Lightning. So for example, when you're in Classic, you might want to use this edit layout features because Lightning doesn't have it, and edit layout, add some fields, and now you want to see in Lightning. So when you switch to Lightning, Salesforce will remember that context, which is a great time saver for me. So let's go to accounts, and now you see United Oil and Gas Corp. So that's great. Another feature is around the related list that I'm super excited about. So you can now actually see more than 5 columns, up to 10 columns on the related list. And to do that, you need to go to your edit page. And I'm going to actually change the layout a little bit as well, because to make sure I have enough space or enough real estate on my screen to show all that column. So I'm going to say one reason only and hit done, so that I have enough space here. So, and go to the related list and make sure your related list type is set up to enhanced list. And enhanced list can show you up to 10 columns at once. So save it and activate. So while activating it, there's another feature that's very interesting, and I think it will be very helpful, especially if you have mobile and desktop users, to set up different pages or different record pages for different types of users. So you can actually select the form factor on what your org default you want to be. So I'm going to say desktop and phone for now, but feel free to play around with that feature. Next, and save it. Alright, so let's go back and see how it actually looks. So this will help you get away from App Exchange product if you're using, or any Lightning data table like I did, just to show more than 5 columns on the related list. So now you don't need that, and there's almost, I think, 10 columns. Another features around related list also is now you can edit, or users can filter the related list. But to filter the related list, they need to go on view all. There is no way to filter on here, and the filter component won't show up on the related list. So if I go to view all, there is a filter now which lets me filter on, let's say I want to see all the opportunities that is less than 300, let's say 200,000. So maximum amount 200,000, and I'm going to apply it, and it should bring me the filtered list. Pretty cool. And it also remembers me. So if I go back to the account and click on the same opportunities view all, here it doesn't refresh, it doesn't show me the filter list, but if I go to view all, it will still remember that filters. And to remove that filters, just clear all filters. It's a similar concept to list view, I think. And another feature around the productivity is now, if you are on a list view, you can actually filter on the pick list values as well, which was not available until summer 19. So let's say I want to see all the closed won opportunities. It should bring me all the closed opportunities here. So that's a quick little feature. If I also go to reports, there is another enhancement, which is search in reports. So back in last release, we had search capability on the reports itself, reports name, but now within the report also you can search on anything inside the report. So I'm going to say closed one, and there, so it takes me right to that. I think it's looking at the text fields. So if I say show me all the opportunities, that is 90% probability, so there, so just highlights that particular column for me, which is still helpful if you are trying to search something in a massive data table. So, right, so that was on the related list and search filters, search enhancements. Another nice feature is now you can actually set up hyperlinks field. same as the custom theme. This could be very minor, but also very important, especially if you're trying to build your own theme and your own brand. So for example, now you can, if I'm on account and go to I created a URL field, and now it's purple because my custom theme color is also purple. So to do that, you need to go to settings and theme settings, themes and branding, and there you can actually set the URL to link color to use the brand color, and you can disable that if you want. So that's also a quick feature around the UI part of it. Another feature also on your UI is now when you are an opportunity or any object, lead, opportunity. So let's say if your user changes, gets a closed one opportunity, you want to celebrate that, right? So you can now do that and it's set up. So I'm just going to change the record type to make sure it's having the correct path. So this is available under path settings. So I'm going to go and close this opportunity, and I should see a confetti on the screen as like a celebration. So there. So now you have this confetti, and this is available in the path settings. So if you go to the path settings, you can set up what picklist values you want that to celebrate. Definitely don't want to close last, and how often. So you can set that frequency as well. So another feature. So let's actually switch gears and go to Sales Cloud features. So first feature around Sales Cloud that I'm excited about is now you can actually set up quotas for your users within the Salesforce, and you don't need to use that data loader to just load the quotas for the users. This was already available in customizable forecasting, but for collaborative forecasting, there was no easy way to upload the quotas or set the quotas for the users. But for now, once you have quotas enabled, so go to setup and go to forecast settings. Obviously, you probably are already using forecast, or if you're not, give it a try. Forecast settings, make sure your show quotas box is checked. And once you do that, you have forecast quotas. So this is new. And you can set up quotas for your individual users for that forecast type. I only have one forecast type, and I already set my quota, so maybe I want to change it to 80,000, for example, and just save it. So I have my, that's my May quota, and you can set for different, depending on how your business is. Show quotas, and I set 100,000 for June, so that's there. So this is very useful, especially for your, for example, sales team leader who wants to go in and set up their quotas for their sales team. Obviously, they need access to manage quotas, and once they have that, they'll be able to set these quotas by going to the setup directly. Okay, another quick feature around Sales Cloud is also now territory management is now available under the Object Manager. So you don't need to go to Classic to just set up the territory model and territory assignment rules. So everything is available under the Object Manager inside the Lightning. So no need to switch to Classic for that. So that's territory feature. Next feature I want to talk about is process automation. So now we have a new, it's still in beta, so there is a process home automation or automation home. So basically all your automation are streamlined here. So you can create workflows, approval process, builder flows, Netflix action from here. And also this is what is really good is now you have like this reports or measure of how much your flows are taking, how long are they running for, what's your average completion time, so that you know which processes are slowing down or what are the different errors you got in last 30 days. So this gives you a quick overview of especially if you have tons of processes, it's good to have this measure because you probably get those errors emails and kind of lost within other inboxes. So it's good to have a place, come here and see what are the different errors and how is your org health doing in general. So and the uses as well. So you can see how many flows interviews are passed, how many interviews are without UI, and how many are with UI. I don't have any flows here currently in this new org, but I'm definitely excited to try this feature out once it comes in, once it becomes available. Another feature around process builders is that now you can use custom metadata type in process builder. Last release, this became available in the validation rule, and I already started using it. Custom metadata type will be great if you have any hard-coded values in process builder, for example, setting record type IDs, which is not something that's available, and you have to hard code it in process builder. So now you can use custom metadata type to store those values and hard code those and refer to those custom metadata types instead of hard coding in the process. What is the advantage of this versus custom settings is that unless you are using hierarchy type custom settings, you don't have to worry about setting those data again while deploying in production. So custom metadata types don't require you to set up data or transfer data. It kind of is included in the change set. So that saves a lot of time and also less errors there. So I'm sure everybody will find some use cases around custom metadata using in process builders. Next feature, it's also around flows, and I don't have anything to share because I haven't built a flow yet here, but you are able to, flow are getting more smarter. Flows are getting smarter in terms of showing you the errors while you try to save. So for example, if you have a bad formula type in flow, it will not let you save it unless you correct that. Similarly, even in the assignment type, so if you are assigning a wrong variable type, flow not always gives you the error, and it gives you error in the runtime. So flow will be smarter to catch those errors ahead of time rather than throwing errors in the runtime. Same thing with process builder. So invalid processes will not be saved anymore instead of giving you error during the runtime. So that's all with the system in Salesforce setup, at least the quick features. Let's take a look at few community features that I'm very excited about. So the first feature that I saw was community users, especially with licenses, partner community, and customer community plus can now create reports. So let me pull up that release notes. So once they have the profile has create and customize reports and access to the flow builder lightning experience, they will be able to create reports in the community, which I think is huge because I have had users ask this request all the time. All you need to do is add that report tab. I tried doing it in my org, but you need to contact Salesforce support to do that. So once the sandbox is in pre-release, if you want to try this out, contact Salesforce support to enable this feature for your sandboxes and see how it works out. I'm definitely excited to try this feature. Another feature around community is you can now set up a sharing set for lead. So this was also huge because right now the only way to give access to the leads is all or none. So either all community users can see all the leads, even if that doesn't belong to their reason or their account or whatever. But now you can use that in sharing set. This also I wasn't able to recreate in my environment. So if I go to lead sharing settings, I still don't have access to convert that lead to private for external users. So it's still public read write transfer and I cannot edit it. So I'm assuming, I think this is also something that needs to be contacted to Salesforce support to see if this is possible yet, because the release notes have that you can now create sharing sets for leads. All right, another feature around sharing or around community is now you can actually set up record list types, rather more options around record list. So for example, I have account names, layout full. Now you have these options. So you can say you only want them to have access to table and not Kanban, or only Kanban. As well as you can say you want them to have inline edit or don't. and you don't want to show the list actions, because not always you want them to see all the list actions, and plus it's kind of crowds the UI, and maybe you would want them to give the list search option. So just more control around this, because working with communities, I've noticed that sometimes business users will ask all these different requirements, like, can we show this search filter, or can we hide this? But now you can, so just giving more flexibility in terms of setup to the admin. And there are so many more features around community, like having mass quick actions on case, global actions, and so forth. I'll share the link for the release notes. Please check that out. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if what are your favorite features, and if I missed anything. Thank you.